mature and graphic subject matter. Viewer discretion is advised.
The John and
Jeff Show.
We're two guys who think there is no excuse for poor neighborhoods being dirty.
We're two guys who think any band that comes back after a farewell tour should be sued.
We're two guys who think parole boards should be eliminated.
We're two guys who think children's beauty pageants are comfort food for perverts.
The John and Jeff Show.
The John and Jeff Show.
Keeping you awake live on the third shift, America. It is the John and Jeff Show, third shift. Free for all.
It's not your imagination. The third shift goes by twice as fast when you listen every hour to the John and Jeff Show. Call us now, 877-97-John-Jeff, 877-975-6465.
That's right. Welcome to the third shift, free for all. More topics, better variety. Stand by for stuff you will only hear right here on the third shift. The best part is you can talk about anything, and to jump on Live America, it's easy. Pick up the phone and call now. Coming up, we'll get to the bottom of the news pile for news and nonsense. Plus, if you have a problem, we're going to get into it. We're going to listen to your problem and tell you what to do. Maybe you need some relationship advice or advice on almost anything. The free advice department is open. So there's a lot going on. I can smell the weekend. You smell it, John?
I do.
We got the weekend coming up. So jump on Live.
It's nothing like a tailgate party. Getting ready for the football on Saturday and Sunday.
Yeah, I've got a action-packed football weekend. Of course, Friday night, I've got some high school football action. I'm going to check out my alma mater. Then Saturday, I'm going to see my nephew play in college. And then, of course, Sunday, game day. So it'll just be a weekend of football. And I'm going to enjoy some tri-tip sandwiches and things like that. Good football food.
Now, I know everyone's in a good mood. The weekend is coming up. But, Jeff, I do have some bad news to report.
What?
Well, bad news for guys.
What is it?
The FDA is now going to put new warnings on Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra. Apparently, there have been reports of men losing their hearing because they're taking erectile dysfunction medications, such as Viagra and Cialis. And apparently, according to a study, there were 29 reports of hearing loss since 1996 with men who apparently took some of these ED drugs. And as a result, the FDA now is going to put new warnings to make it very, very clear that hearing loss could be a side effect of taking some of these drugs like Viagra. Now, in the initial study of Viagra, the published report says that there were a couple of reports of men losing their hearing during the test phase of this particular drug. So if you're using Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra, have you experienced any hearing loss? This could really damage these drug companies, because who wants to lose their hearing over Viagra?
Think about it. You can perform in the bedroom, but you can't hear how much your wife enjoys it.
Or maybe you won't be able to hear her complain afterwards.
Exactly. You'll be like, I can't hear anything, but I think she's enjoying it.
According to the FDA, they urge patients who experience hearing problems, loss, or ringing in the ears to promptly call their doctors and stop taking any ED medication, known as Viagra, Cialis, or Levitra. This is not good news. Our friend Hugh Hefner, it changed his life. Hopefully he's not experiencing any hearing loss. But this is not good news for guys. We had it made for a while there. And now all of a sudden someone wants to put a damper on such a good time.
So now if you walk around here in America and you see a guy with a hearing aid, you'll look and say, oh, wow, that guy, yeah.
Is that because of Viagra?
Exactly. Poor guy. He can't hear, but he's able to perform.
So if you want to comment on that or anything else, it is the third shift free-for-all on the John and Jeff Show. 877-97-JOHN-JEFF, 877-975-6465. All right, let's go to John. John, you're next on the third shift free-for-all. Hello.
Hello. On those sex offenders, I'm saying that there's 200.
All right, at a trailer park in Florida, there are 200 residents, and you say every single one of them is a registered sex offender?
Right.
That is not the answer I have. But
You gotta be kidding me.
But according to one resident, the woman says, my place is worth nothing now because of all the sex offenders that live in her trailer park. Now, the resale on a trailer isn't very good to begin with.
Right.
But now it's almost worth nothing because of all the sex offenders apparently find this particular trailer park comfortable. And the last thing you want is to make any atmosphere comfortable for a registered sex offender. All right, let's go to Blair. Blair, you're next on the John and Jeff Show. Hello.
Hey, how are you guys tonight?
Okay, what's going on, Blair?
I need to get your advice on something. Didn't really want to call Lycus on this. He can be a little bit too harsh. But relationship advice, girl advice.
Well, thank you for clarifying your sexual preference.
So
now what can we do for you, Blair?
Just what's your advice on going about things? I know what Lycus would say, but I want someone a little bit more normal, a little bit less harsh.
Yeah, but I would like you to ask us a question about your situation so we could maybe answer it.
I've had no girlfriends. I think for several reasons. One, too short, and the other being too nice.
All right. How tall are you?
5'3".
Okay. And you say that you cannot find a woman because you're too nice. Give us an example of you being too nice.
Just, I'm the kind of guy that always ends up being the good friend.
I know, but give us an example of some of the things that you do when you meet a woman, so we can kind of give like a hidden camera on how you act in front of women that you meet.
Oh, geez, it's hard to give an example, but just basically hanging out with them and being more of their friend and a guy, that they want to get down with, or just,
all right. So, all right, you're 5'3". What do you weigh?
120.
Okay. So listen, what you should probably do so you're not intimidated by your height is to kind of target petite women. And there's a lot of women who are your height and under.
Yeah, but a lot of them like to go for the bigger guys.
Yeah, but you're walking around, you're walking around with that vibe. Oh, I'm short. See, and women can pick up on that. We need to work on your confidence, Blair. You're basically telling yourself that, I'm short, so the women want a bigger guy. You can't project that sort of image or that vibe. You absolutely can't. You have to walk around like you're 6 feet tall. You have to walk around being confident. And you need to really, make sure that when you meet a woman, that you are confident and your self-esteem has to be high. You can't be walking around with low self-esteem.
Yeah, well, the other excuse I use, too, is I'm in Orange County, as you know it, and Orange County women are known for, I don't know how to put this, but their critiques are not critiques, but their standards are too high. I don't want to call them gold diggers, but just their standards are too high.
Well, listen, again, what you're doing is you're talking yourself out of having a good relationship. Because I agree with Jeff, your confidence is very low, your self-esteem is extremely low, and so you go into it with all these barriers and restrictions, rather than you just having a free-flow conversation with someone who may or may not end up being a girlfriend or a wife someday. So this all starts with you, and I say that you try to just be a happier person to start off with. And try to get motivated to be happy. Now, here's the thing that a lot of women look at. There's a lot of women who absolutely don't care what a guy looks like unless he's got what?
Moolah.
Exactly. So if you feel that you are not been given the tools that maybe other guys have, then your mission should be to make a really good living.
Yeah, I haven't been too well. I haven't been that bad with money. I've always had not a lot, but
guess what? Yeah, but guess what? Maybe that should be your motivation because you can't do anything about your height.
Well, then I'm getting the wrong kind of women.
Well, but again, you're calling us saying you can't get a woman, and then all of a sudden you're going to be picky and say, I don't want the wrong type of woman. I think you have to make a good living, have plenty of money, And when women know that you have money, you get more attention, just like attractive women get more attention from guys because of their appearance, and guys get more attention because of their success.
Yeah, Blair, there are plenty of guys who are short that have girlfriends that are hot and taller than them.
Yeah.
I have a friend of mine. He's a short guy, and he's married to a woman who's much taller than he is. And sometimes height doesn't matter. If you're confident, you stand tall. But if you're walking around, Blair, with your head down saying, well, I'm a short guy, no women are going to be into me, that's no good. You have to think that you're much taller. You have to project an image that you're confident. Women like a confident guy, whether they're 6'5" or they're 5'5". And you have to just relax and not try so hard.
Yeah, I think a lot of guys overcompensate when they're on the short side.
Yeah, gotta be careful.
By trying to be the life of the party, by trying to, crack a joke or whatever, like be the funny little guy. You don't have to go there. You don't have to be the funny smaller guy. You can just be the guy. But it all starts with you. You put out the vibe.
Yeah, but also the other thing is hearing it day in and day out, First thing I'm described as, or first thing people say. It's kind of hard to tune it out when it's something I hear. Like,
what do you hear? What do you hear from the women?
I've basically felt it more and heard it. Like, I've gotten close enough that I can almost see it just because of the height. That's your only drawback. I don't think I'm terrible looking. Just the height holds me back.
I know, but what do you hear? Do guys tease you or women tease you about your height?
The guys don't really tease me, but when we're drinking, having fun, I'll even poke fun at myself sometimes after them poking fun at me so many times. I just take it in stride.
Yeah, but you know something? Your friends should never do that.
That's not cool.
Okay, so these people are not your friends. Listen, if you were my friend, I would never bring your height up, ever.
Well, they don't know it's that sensitive to me.
No, that's just
it's
common
respect.
sense. I have friends that are short. I have two friends that are very, very short, and I have never said, "Hey, so and so, you're really, really short." That there's no upside to that. I'm a friend. I'm not going to say that. If someone is too fat, all right, I'm not going to say, "You know what? You're too fat," or "You're too small," or "You're too tall." There's no upside to that.
Yeah, I've had friends for 20 years, and I've never made a joke about their appearance for whatever reason, ever. I would never do it because they're my friend.
Is it so different than us messing around, make fun of each other's races? How you're Mexican, you're Asian?
No, you know something? It's childish, it's immature, it's juvenile, and it doesn't serve a purpose. Okay,
Right,
I have a friend that's Italian. Do I do Italian jokes? No. Why? What is accomplished by that? See, I think, Blair, and this is a very serious matter for a lot of guys, and that's why we're spending the time with you, because, I'm 6'2". Jeff is what? You're like 6 feet?
I'm like 5'10".
Okay, Jeff is 5'10", I'm 6'2". Jeff and I, we have a full head of hair. We're lucky. How many guys are over 5'10" and still have their head of hair in their 40s? Not that many. So it's just the roll of the dice. Now, we've never been where you're at right now in your life. But I'll tell you this, Blair, if I was out with you, I would not even bring your height into a conversation at a bar drinking. And I understand what you're trying to do is because people make light of your height, then you jump in so it kind of, breaks it down like you don't really mind. But deep down inside, it hurts you.
Yeah, well, it's not just friends, too. People I'm meeting for the first time, coworkers, everything, Oh, how tall are you? Oh,
well, how about this?
You weigh less than my wife, and da-da-da.
Well, how about this? Guys asking you. I asked you your weight just to see if there's other physical issues that you're uncomfortable with. But, guys asking you that, it's like, do you like women or do you like guys?
What do you care how tall I am? And in regards to someone saying you weigh less than my wife, then you could come back with, well, is your wife fat?
Yeah.
I'm 5'3". How much should I weigh?
I didn't know you liked obese women.
Yeah, that's not cool.
Yeah. I don't need anybody. I'm independent.
And you know something? You need to be. You need to be your own person. And listen, I don't understand why people go out of their way to make people feel bad. I've never understood that concept. And you know what it really is about? It's about their insecurity. It's about them being made fun of. And now it's their turn to give you a hard time because of some of the things that they've been teased about. So it's almost like it just like trickle down. They got beat up in school, so now they're going to beat up someone that they can beat up. And it's
also hard to tell them, you know, this offends me or this gets to me, or then they make fun of me for that, you know.
Well, I honestly think that you need to have a little bit more confidence. That's going to come over time. And again, I think you just need to say to somebody, you know, listen, I don't make fun of you being obese, so why don't you find something else to talk about?
Yeah, and you don't need friends like that. They're not your friends. Friends care about you. All right, it's okay to joke around, but when it gets to the point to where in the very core, Blair, that makes you tick, you feel pain and it hurts, that's not cool. That's very hurtful. There's no upside to that. But what you need to do is focus on yourself. Do you go to the gym?
I did a little bit of exercise. I don't like going to the gym. I do my own personal exercise.
Well, here's what you do.
Weights, jog.
Yeah. Exercise every day. Start to feel good. Go out. Buy yourself some clothes that make you feel good. Do things for yourself. And every day tell yourself, you know what? I'm a confident guy. Look in the mirror and like yourself. Seriously.
Yeah.
You have to like yourself. You have to be good with yourself before you can be good in a relationship.
Well, that's my main drawback. I mean, everything else has been pretty good.
Well, listen, over time, over time, you're going to meet somebody that isn't going to be so shallow when it comes to your height. And I would not waste time with people that are trying to make you, you know, the subject of a joke. These people are not your friends. Oh, I'm just kidding around.
Just kidding.
You know, no, they're doing it because they can do it, and they're taking advantage of a situation, and they know that it's hurtful, and they still do it. So they're really going out of their way to be hurtful. And these people are not your friends or your coworkers. You know, you just don't do that. I've never said anything like that to anyone I've ever met. Oh, some guy in a wheelchair. Hey, what happened?
That's totally different, though.
Yeah, but it isn't. Because they probably don't want to talk about a situation. Or how about someone who is blind? You know, I would just never make someone feel worse than they already do about their situation, like a burn victim. Hey, what happened to you? Mm-hmm. I mean, why would I do that? Why would I put that person through trying to explain why they are disfigured? Or
if they had a big nose, walk up to someone and say, hey, wow, you got a really big nose. I mean,
you should get that nose fixed.
There's nothing cool about that. There's no upside to that. It's hurtful. But Blair, you need to keep your head up, seriously, and you will run into a woman who will appreciate you for you. And just work on yourself. Work on that confidence level. Feel good about yourself. You know, enjoy your life. Don't obsess on this. Don't obsess on being a short guy. Because there are plenty of guys out there that are short, and they have women that are taller than them, and they have great relationships.
Well, listen, people sense insecurity. So if you're insecure about your height, people will draw attention to it and make fun of it in some cases. So I think you're kind of sending the vibe out there. But never make fun of your height in order to deflect hurtful things that are said to you.
Yeah, and there are a lot of petite honeys out there that would probably love to spend some hang time with you and go out. You just have to go out there every day and keep your head up and walk around and be a strong, confident man. And as soon as you subscribe to that way of thinking, your life will get better.
So, Blair, listen, think about what we've said. Give us a call back in a couple months. Let us know how things are going. And again, there's a lot of, guys in your situation, and you got to make the best of what you got. And I would not tolerate behavior from strangers or coworkers, family members, friends, associates, saying any hurtful things to you. And you should tell these people to grow up.
Gotcha.
You know?
Yeah, I do thank you guys for your advice, and I'm a pretty new listener. I like what you guys have been talking about, and I think you guys are both great. And Keep it up, man.
Okay,
well, Blair,
Blair.
thanks for the call. We appreciate you discussing this because this is a big issue for a lot of guys.
It is.
You know, guys lose their hair early in life. Guys that are on the shorter side of the scale when it comes to height. You know, it does put people in a situation where they become very self-conscious about, you know, losing their hair or their weight or their height. And you could hear, you know, in Blair's voice, some of the stuff that's been built up over these years. So if you're struggling with some sort of problem that you perceive that you have in your life, give us a call and let's talk about it, because you really have to just accept it and don't dwell on it and move on with your life.
Yeah, and maybe you have some additional advice for Blair out there on the third shift. He seems like a really good guy, and we're pulling for you, Blair. We really are.
All right, more of your calls are coming up this morning on the John and Jeff Show. 877-97-JOHN Jeff, 877-975-6465.
The John and Jeff Show.
John and Jeff, rocking the third shift.
Rated #1 with UPS drivers, nurses, and repo tow truck drivers. This is the John and Jeff Show.
All right, thanks for joining us. 877-97-JOHN Jeff, 877-975-6465. Daniel is next on the John and Jeff Show. Hi, Daniel.
Hi, how you guys doing?
Good. What's going on, Daniel?
I just want to say that I want to take a guess on that trailer park in Florida.
All right, at a trailer park in Florida, 200 people live there. How many of them are convicted sex offenders?
I'm going to say 134.
That is not the answer I have.
Okay, thank you. You guys do a great show. This is my 4th year listening, and you guys make my third shift go a lot faster.
Well, thank you. Where do you work at, Daniel?
Actually, I'm a driver, so I'm all over the place, from L.A. to Oxnard to Orange County, and you guys make it go pretty fast.
Well, we appreciate you listening while you drive, okay? And drive safe.
Thank you very much.
All right, brother. Rock on.
And if you've been listening to the show for a while, give us a call. We had a woman earlier. She's been listening for, how many years did she say?
Quite a while.
7 years, she said. And now this one is 4. So, wow. I mean, when people say, I've been listening to you for 7 years, you start to say, we've been doing this for 7 years? It's been a fast 7. Actually, it's been 9.
Yeah.
But who's counting?
Time flies on the third shift when you're having fun.
All right, Justin is next on the John and Jeff Show. Hello, Justin.
Hey, guys. It's pretty cool getting through to you. I listen to the show off and on. I work at night, and I enjoy listening to the show whenever I have an opportunity, but I have to do it on breaks and stuff. But I wanted to make a comment on, there was a fellow Blair that you were talking to earlier.
Mm-hmm.
And I kind of felt like, I don't remember which one of you was saying that if he has confidence, he will meet a girl who is right for him. And I kind of felt that wasn't the best advice, because it was kind of I felt that it would give him the mentality that there is like one girl out there out of 1,000 and he'll meet her if he's confident, instead of the mentality that every girl out there is for him and he should pick who he wants.
Well, yeah, you know? we said that he, from hearing his voice, he doesn't have a lot of self-esteem, and he needs to work on his confidence. And I think when he builds his confidence, he'll be able to go up to any woman and feel confident.
And the other suggestion I had for him was, you know, a lot of women like successful guys, and it really doesn't matter what they look like, whether they're short or tall or thin or overweight or even 70 or 80 years old. So if that helps build the confidence, then by all means, go for it. And my suggestion to Blair was, you know, make a really good living, and then you'll be more confident because of your financial success. So if and when you're in a situation, you have confidence. Have you noticed that people that are very successful are very confident? In most cases.
Somewhat, yeah.
Okay.
Like sometimes, yes,
all right.
Definitely.
So by increasing your net worth, you're going to be a more confident individual. And that's going to help break the ice in a social situation.
I definitely agree that there is a correlation to that.
Yeah, if you walk into a room and you're confident and you're in charge and you command a presence, people are going to notice you, especially women. But if you walk into a room feeling all dejected, and let's say you are short, and you're saying, well, I'm short, I'm not going to talk to her, women can see right through that. And I also referenced that I have friends that are short, and their wives are taller than them, much taller.
Yeah.
I know a guy, he's 5'6", and his wife is pushing 6 feet. He's a confident guy. He was born, he's not a tall guy. He was short. He's still short. And that's how he's lived his life. But guess what? He stands tall. When he said I do at the altar on their wedding day, he wasn't wearing platform shoes. He stood there next to his wife.
Was she in heels?
She towered over him, but he stood there and he was very tall and very secure. So I've seen it. I've seen short guys and taller women, much taller women. And you know what? Good for him. He didn't let that break his spirit because he was born a short guy.
Well, you know, you could also look at a guy who doesn't make that much money and he doesn't have an aspiration to make a lot of money. I've had a dozen friends, you might call them surfer bums or whatever, but they're charismatic people and they can always go wherever they want and pick whatever girl they want, even if she's a gold digger. I've had friends who don't make any money or relatively little, and they can get those gold digger girls to go out with them and even be in committed relationships with them.
But that
just
takes
because of their charisma.
Right, exactly. So how do you get that charisma? You get it with confidence.
Yeah, they have game and confidence, but what happens, reality sets in, and they may go out with these women for a while, but sooner or later the money issue gets in the way. And they probably meet a lot of women. You know, they're cool surfer guys. They're not making a lot of money, but they've got game. But they'll bounce from woman to woman. Eventually, the money factor will catch up to you.
That does happen a lot, but I think it's their choice. I think that you can convince somebody that they're happy just by being happy and making them happy. Some people think that it is money that makes them happy, but I mean, a lot of, like a surfer, they live the life. You're happy on the beach, and it's so cheap to be on the beach. And you can always go to tropical islands, get cheap tickets. You can live in these huts, eat fantastic food, because in other countries. Yeah,
but that's a lifestyle. That's a lifestyle that some people embrace and others don't. But getting back to Blair, who called the show, he's 5'3", he's not a tall guy. And he doesn't have the confidence because he's so self-conscious about his height. And our suggestion to him was, you have to get over your situation so other people don't take advantage of your insecurity. Because listen, people can smell it, they can feel it, they can sense it. If you're insecure about something, there are some people out there that will, go for the throat and try to make you look bad, because it makes them somehow feel better about themselves by picking on somebody. It's like the bully in the schoolyard. The bully always picks on someone who won't defend themselves because they'll win the battle all the time.
They'll pick out your weakness just to make themselves look better. Think about that. So if you're a short person and they're tall, maybe they have a big nose and they know that. So what they'll do is they'll look at the short guy and say, well, that guy's short.
Yeah, but how many guys are going, say for instance, Donald Trump was 5'3". Would Donald Trump be talking the way he talks? Of course, because he's a billionaire. And he's cocky. And he's in your face. And it has nothing to do with his height. It has everything to do with his success. So if you want to get over something that you don't like about yourself, try to be as successful as possible. Don't tolerate people who make fun of you. And hold out for the best person you can find in life. That would be my suggestion. Hey, Justin, thanks for yours. We appreciate it. 877-97 Jeff, 877-975-6465.
The John and Jeff Show.
John and Jeff, rock
radio commute just got earlier. This is the John and Jeff Show.
Coming back at you live. Let's stop in Arcadia and say hi to Brett. Brett, you're live on the third shift free-for-all. What's going on?
Oh, nothing much. Just hear about that talk about Blair. And, I used to be exactly like him. I wasn't 5'3", but I'm only 5'8.5". And I used to be scared to talk to women. Completely, utterly scared, And then I finally realized a few years later, a friend was talking to me, and she goes, pretty much all the girls that hung out with you liked you, right? It was terrible.
All right, so how did you overcome your height disadvantage or advantage, however you look at it?
I used to be really scared of my physical appearance, and that really affected my confidence. But I was just, what? I'm just going to go out there and be successful and just be me. I know, but how did you get past the mental problem that you had with your height? I just said, you know what? This is how tall I am. I can't do anything to escape that. And most of my girlfriends, like you guys said, your friend who was 5'6" has a wife about 6 feet tall. Most of my girlfriends have been at least 5'10", almost 6 feet. I know, but I'm trying to figure out how you went from being insecure to confident, because that is the road I want to travel in your life. So is there anything that you can suggest for anyone else who's in that situation? Yeah, any advice for Blair? How did you get over it? I just decided that I couldn't change who I was. Okay. And the fact that if I went out there and that girl one certain way, that I could probably get her over to talk to me. I don't normally go up and talk to girls. They come over and talk to me now. And because I couldn't talk to anybody, so they would end up coming and talking to me. So it was all about how you projected yourself, how you held yourself. Your confidence grew, and then you started getting the phone numbers. All right, we're talking about one of our listeners. He's not the tall guy on the block, and he's a little insecure about his height, and we're wanting to find out also from the ladies, does height matter? Ladies, if you're listening and you want to join us in on this conversation, give us a call. Does height matter when it comes to a guy? I think a lot of women prefer taller guys, but I think if they find the right guy, it won't matter. So ladies, give us a call. 877-97-JOHN-JEFF, 877-975-6465. Let's go to Steve. Steve, you're next on the John and Jeff Show. Hello.
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
Hi, Steve.
Just hanging out, man.
What do you got for us?
I wanted to take a guess at the trailer park situation out there in Florida.
All right, at a trailer park in Florida, there are 200 residents. How many of them are convicted sex offenders?
I'm going to go with 112.
Close. 95 out of the 200 residents are convicted sex offenders, and one of the residents says that their place is worth almost nothing because everybody pretty much at the park is a sex offender. I think my guess was 80, so I was... You were close. Oh, but I missed it. So, we've talked about this before. Yeah. Real estate values come down when registered sex offenders are in the neighborhood. So we need to build more prisons, keep people in prison who are sexual predators, so we can keep this economy going. Imagine you move into a neighborhood and you're trying to sell your house, and some guy 2 doors down is a pervert, a registered pervert.
No, they need to be put away.
Good luck trying to sell that house.
Yeah,
and
I understand.
It's a legitimate problem, and people don't usually talk about this stuff, and it needs to be addressed. Registered sex offenders bring home values down. So there's no upside letting these people out. So build more prisons so we don't let these pervs out. That's it. Simple. 877-97-JOHN-JEFF, 877-975-6465. Let's go to Ed. Ed, you're next on the John and Jeff Show. Good morning.
Hey, guys. Great show tonight.
Thank you.
Hey, I got 2 comments now. One about the story you did about the that survey they did on the Viagra, you know, the loss of hearing and stuff?
Yeah, the FDA is warning that Viagra, Cialis, Levitra, they're going to have warning labels saying that hearing loss is a possible side effect.
What?
Right. And my comment about that is, so what?
Well, let's think about that. Let's get into this. Would you rather be able to perform in the bedroom? All right.
With the possibility of, I mean, is it complete hearing loss, or it's like, you know, that you can't hear as much?
Some people have lost their hearing, others temporarily, some just reduced. But again, they're warning that there's hearing loss because when Viagra was being tested, there were people apparently, according to this published report, that came back and said that they had lost hearing while they were taking the drug. And now there are at least 29 cases of people who claim that their hearing has been compromised because they took some of these erectile dysfunction drugs. So the FDA now is going to put new warnings that people could suffer from sudden or prolonged hearing loss taking some of these drugs. And I think this is going to put a damper on the party.
I don't think so. I don't use it, but who knows? But another comment about the engagement ring.
Yeah, the man bought an expensive engagement ring, and now he wants it back, a $48,000 engagement ring.
Right. Now, did she break up with him, or he broke up with her?
We don't know that.
Okay. But I was told a long time ago that if you ever pop the question to your girlfriend, never do it on her birthday, Valentine's Day, or Christmas, because it would be considered a gift.
Correct.
Yes.
Correct. If you give a gift on a day that is traditionally a gift-giving holiday,
right,
then the argument can be made that you were cheap and you got engaged and you combine your engagement, your Hanukkah, your Christmas, and New Year's Eve gift and Valentine's gift on the same day to save money. And the judge is going to say that part of that was actually the gift for Valentine's and not necessarily just the engagement.
Right.
So it's excellent advice. And there have been cases where guys could not get their engagement ring back because it was on the woman's birthday.
That's why there's...
And there's another thing also, whether or not the engagement ring was a family heirloom. So, you know, that would really suck for the guy if it was handed down generation to generation and she decides to keep it. You know, it kind of breaks that line then.
Of course. And that's why there's a lot of pressure. Women love to get engaged on Valentine's Day, on Christmas. They're the ones that really spearhead that, hey, let's get engaged this Christmas. And the guy is, wow, she wants to marry me. Okay. He goes, he buys the ring, he says I do on Christmas Day, and she knows at the back of her mind, in the event that we break up, it's a gift. I keep it.
Well, a lot of guys, again, want to save money, so I'll combine the engagement and the Christmas gift into one, and then I don't have to have two separate gifts. And then all of a sudden, people are wondering, hey, I need that ring back. But a judge is going to say that was part of the gift, whether it was the anniversary or what have you.
So here's what you do.
It's kind of sad, the fact that, I mean, $48,000 for a ring, for an engagement ring.
It's ridiculous.
I mean, that's more. Why don't you just buy her a car?
Here's what you do, guys. If you get engaged the day after Christmas or February 15th.
and yeah, exactly. That way the roses are cheaper there too.
Of course.
No, but you bring up a good point, Ed. I mean, if you're gonna be that crazy to buy a $50,000 engagement ring, why not buy a car and allow the person to use it, and then when you're done with the relationship, you obviously still keep the car.
Or at least, you know, if they buy a house, at least you can buy the furniture and all that stuff and buy like most women would be appreciative for like a couple of $1,000 ring. you know, if they really loved them, and use that money for stuff that you can use for your whole marriage.
Well, listen, a lot of guys are a little insecure, and they think they have to ante up for the engagement ring because they believe that the woman doesn't necessarily deserve it, but she expects it. And so when you buy a woman an expensive engagement ring, the rest of your life is going to have to be outdoing that initial gift. And you basically set a standard that you're going to have to uphold. And I think it's the wrong way to start the relationship. Being in debt, $50,000. I mean, if you can't get a woman to marry you with a $2,000 engagement ring, then you're hard up. And any woman who rejects the engagement ring you give her isn't worth marrying. And maybe that's happened to you. Maybe someone rejected you because of the engagement ring. It wasn't good enough. Give us a call and tell us what happened. Hopefully you didn't go out and get a bigger one. But, Jeff, a lot of women do get their engagement rings appraised because they want to figure out how much a man loves them.
Yeah, and then they can brag to their girlfriends, oh, my husband spent $12,000 on my ring. Oh, my husband spent $20,000. My husband spent $50,000.
All right, more of your calls coming up on the John and Jeff Show, live and nationwide, 877-97-John Jeff, 877-975-6465.